While we're at bus, you have to remain in your seats at all times. When you get out to the water, the rules are going to change. I'm going to go over those with you then. These railings right now have to be high, so if you want it, you can reach out. You can high-five a sign. You can grab tree limbs, but if you do that, you're going to get hurt. It's not really fair, because when you get hurt, they make us stay after work. You're doing kind of people. I want to go home. Please don't make me stay after work, okay? What are we going to see? Do you guys have any ideas? Will you get wet? That's up to him. I don't know. I have no idea what we're going to see. My job is to find out what's out. Sit down. Find out what's out there and point it out. Make sure you get to see it as well. Let's start right here. That really tall hotel. That's the Manchester Grand Hyatt Hotel. That stands 497 feet high. No building can be over 500 feet. Most people think that's because of earthquakes. We had one last night. We've had 5 this week. But really has a lot more to do with our international airport. I'll explain more about that when we get near it. Over here on your right, red awnings, blue umbrellas, Kansas City barbecue. Most of you have never been there, but you all know what it looks like inside. Remember when they played the piano and sang Great Balls of Fire? A little bit later, she lost that loving feeling. So she lost it right there. The walls are full of Navy memorabilia. If you like that kind of thing, you should go check that out. This is fine. You're okay. Now, while we're at a stoplight, let me tell you a little bit about me. I am a full-time RVer. This year will mark my 11th year for living on the road full-time. Anytime I go to a brand new city, I'm going to Google 2 things. What's good to eat and what's fun to do. As we go around, I'm going to point a lot of those out. I don't expect you to take notes. I already did. Right there's a list of food places, fun things to do. On your way out, just take a picture. On your left, and no, the Cheesecake Factory is not on my list. That's the old headquarters right there. That was the home of the San Diego Police Department until the early 80s. They moved that a little bit to the east, and what they did, they couldn't take the jail cells with them. They turned that into a free exhibit. You can go in there and get your picture taken behind bars. Over here on your right, that's what we're calling the IQ HQ. That's going to be a bunch of bio labs, dormitories, shopping centers. Everything scientists need to live and work in one place will be right here. We were driving by here about 3 months ago. I was doing that part of my tour, and in the back of my mind I was thinking, you know, every zombie apocalypse movie you've ever watched in your life starts out with scientists living and working in one place. So that's going to be ground zero for a zombie apocalypse one day. 5. Make sure you do that flight deck early in the day, because with that sun, that can get boiling hot up there. The Midway never saw action in the war she was named after. She was commissioned 7 days after the end of World War II. She did get to see action in Korea, Vietnam, and later on in Desert Storm. If you guys are down in this area tonight, right now they have what's called jingle jets. They decorate that with more than 700,000 lights up there. It is gorgeous. Even if you don't want to pay to go up there and get on, come down here on the ground, you can still see it, and it's beautiful from even down here. There are 17 aircraft up on her deck, most of which you can either climb up on a ladder, have a look inside, or a lot of you would actually walk inside of them. They also opened up their intelligence section. So if you go in there, you can create a strike package for a base around Baghdad that we hit during the Desert Storm by that ship right there. marine layer. And the marine layer is fascinating because if that wasn't here, not one of us would be here today. I'm going to tell you more about it on our way back.
Want to stick around? They even have a restaurant up there.
Over here, in front of us, on your left, you're going to see the Cabrillo, the California Spirit, and you're going to see the red, white, and blue Patriot. That's where you pick up your day tour, your morning whale watching tour, and your ferry to Coronado Island. Leave from here once now. Alright, red light challenge. I got you covered. Do you see the sandy color building right there with the windows going straight up and down? That is the only place to live downtown San Diego. It's that view of the bay, it won't cost you a penny to live there. That's the federal penitentiary. Charles Manson, Patty Hearst, both spent some time right here. Now, do you guys see that concrete colored building on the right? Multi-million-dollar condos. And look at that. They got a killer view. I like these two. They're my favorite. Everybody else, I'll work on that humor, I swear. That's kind of what it sounds like.
That's not
right there.
That's not a helicopter.
Over here on your left, we got the Broadway Pier. If you're exploring and those gates are open, go down and have a look around. In front of us, that green long building you're going to see right there. That is the B Street Pier. That's the home of our cruise ship terminal. We can handle 3 cruise ships at a time. And we were voted the #1 cruise ship terminal, not in the United States, but the entire world. Once you're off your cruise ship, there's your hotel, your food. You're down here where the museums are. Everything's happening. Hey, grab your phone. This is your first really good photo opportunity. Look over here. Do you see that tall-masted ship? That is the Star of India. She is 162 years old this year. That makes her the oldest iron-hulled vessel still able to sail. She has circumnavigated the globe more than 41 times. Just to give you an idea of how old 162 years is, she was commissioned 5 days before Abraham Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address. If you go to her, that's part of our Maritime Museum. There are 7 other ships out here. When you get a ticket to one of them, you have a ticket to all of them. On your right, that is our county administration building. That is surrounded by waterfront park. Almost any given day, you can turn around and you can point to a wedding happening right here, because that's where all the wedding licenses are issued. You guys see how low the building has gotten in just 3 blocks? As the planes come into our international airport, they can only be 200 feet over those buildings. 20 feet too high or too low, they have to make that higher approach again. That area is what we call Little Italy. Our Little Italy is larger than San Francisco, Chicago, and New York's Little Italy's all 3 combined. Hey guys, if you're wearing hats, hang on to them. It's going to get pretty windy. Unless they're Dodger hats, we don't care about those. Alright. On your right, that is Solar Turbine. Before that was Solar Turbine, that was called Ryanair. Most people had never heard of Ryanair, but everybody knows the airplane we built right here. This is where we built the Spirit of St. Louis. Lindbergh flew this 33.5 hours from New York to Paris. Big history, right? Look again. Look up front. You guys of abalone. We almost fished this to the very edge of extinction in our bay. During that really heavy fishing period, there's a jeweler that came down from San Francisco. He'd been to China, and he knew that underneath an abalone, it looks like that. The Chinese have been making buttons and jewelry out of that for more than 2,500 years. They call that mother of pearl. That's where mother of pearl comes from. When we're on the water, I will hand that around and have a closer look. Over here, on your left, the Hilton Hotel. That stands on a man-made island. We have 3 man-made islands here in San Diego. In 1542, the very first Spaniard showed up in our waters. His name was Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo. When he did, he surveyed our bay, and he said that bay is no more than about 15 feet deep on average. In 1914, the Navy wanted to bring in their battleships, their cruisers. Well, 15 feet is nowhere deep enough for those big ships. They dredged a canyon in the middle of our bay, 55 feet deep, 14 miles long. They had millions of tons of dredging, so they created Harbor Island, Shelter Island. They connected Coronado Island to the mainland. They call that Main Island. Over here on your left, this is the Navy's underwater warfare and underwater sea rescue training center right here. 10 months ago, this was the most important military base in the whole world. 10 months ago, my kid was stationed here. Now he's in Norfolk, Virginia. So now Norfolk is the most important military base in the whole world right now. Over here in front of us on your left, light color building with dark windows. Upstairs, that's where they do all their classroom and computer work. Admin of the next 2. Downstairs is their mess hall and their commissary. But I want you to look at this building next door. You're going to see a blue set of stairs over here. Inside of that building, there is a swimming pool, 90 feet long,
Ở trong nhà đó
40 feet wide, and 38 feet deep. That's where they learn to use all their equipment. But that is so large that they can actually put a miniature submarine in there. These guys got to get an idea of what firefighting, damage control, flood control. They can practice all of that here before they go out to complete. Now anybody my age,
ở đây
a
là
little bit older,
tạm quân
do these buildings in that grass area over here look familiar? Like you saw a guy doing jumping jacks, getting sprayed in the face with a water hose. That's where they filmed the movie, An Officer and a Gentleman, with Richard Gere and Lou Gossett Jr. right here. Over here on your left, this is Fisherman's Market. That's part of Fisherman's Landing. If you want to charter a boat to go sports fishing, this is where you're going to do that. If I talk to you about anything on my tour, I have been there, I've seen it, I've done it, I've tasted it, or I don't talk about it. With one exception, because there's an exception to every rule. Do you see the white building with the gray shingles right here? If you have $5,000, you're really brave. You can charter a boat here. They will take you to Mexico for 7 days. Put you in a steel cage, drop you underwater, and you get to have a face-to-face chat with a great white shark. I am not that brave. If you are, do me a favor, because nobody's done it yet.
Translate for the
Go do that. Come back. Wave at me with the one hand you have left.
trả cho
Let's
thằng
talk
vô đấy
about how that
trả
went.
cho thằng 5.000 thằng xe chờ
The last place that I lived before San Diego was Key West, Florida. I am used to going off the beach, spearing my fish, walking down all those beach restaurants, they prepare it like that. Where do I go for good fish? Everybody pointed me to that blue roof with the flags. That's point close. Really good. I started my journey in Phoenix, Arizona. I know he's a Mexican, but I know you're a where do I go for good Mexican? Everybody pointed me right here to Miguel's. Now their tacos
cái
over
chỗ mà
there.
em với anh Nam đi xe vào sẵn đấy đó là thằng xuống dưới xuống dưới biển á
And their trio burritos right there are fantastic. So if you're in the mood, that needs to be on your list. Now I told you guys, if I talk about it, I've been there. This one I did it for research for you. Have a look at that liquor store. All those bottles of wine, that was research, I swear it was. Did you see the Polynesian feel it had though? As we come around this corner, we're on that second man-made island. This is Shelter Island. And that Polynesian feel is going to happen more and more as we go down. Shelter Island was never made to house human beings. We made it for two reasons. On your left, that's where we build. We can read and we repair boats all the way up and down here. On your right, that is the largest harbor in San Diego. That is Shelter Island Harbor. There are 3,100 slips over there. Because that is the closest to the mouth of the Pacific. It is the most expensive. That will cost you upwards of $20 per linear foot. So, if you have a 40-foot boat, that's $800 a month just to tie that up. Speaking of boats, we are going to become one soon. When we do, the Coast Guard is asking over these with you. This is a personal flotation device. You each have two on your seats in the back or over your heads. Under 90 pounds, I have special ones in here for them. If they're needed, we'll let you know. You'll take them out, put your head through that hole, wrap that around, hook that up, wait for instructions. 27 years, we've never used them. This is a Hydra Terra. Hydra for water, Terra for land. It was built exclusively for tourism. If I flooded the engine compartment, we'd still float. There's two foam cores that go underneath us. If you guys want a really cool video, turn your phone to video, put it on the railing, point it towards the front of our bus. As we go in, you can record our splash in. Remember you were asking me how this is going to happen? Watch. Hang on to those phones, guys. You drop them. That is a fish's boat, and we're not a fishing boat. Here we go. Just like that. Your 30,000-pound bus just became a boat. Now, we are under Coast Guard rules. You guys want to get up and move around? I don't have a problem with that. If you get up, I want 2 feet on this deck. One hand holding something as you move. That is just it. For my littler ones, if they want to kneel on the seat so they can see better, I don't have a problem with them feeling. But you Do not stand on these seats. That is not safe. Hey, what happened to our wheels? Where'd they go? Do you guys have any ideas? What about you guys? Do you have any ideas?
Just stay still.
Nowhere. They're still there. In fact, they're going to cause so much drag as we go through the water. We're going to blaze through this thing at 5 miles an hour. But that means every boat out here, including some of these kayaks you see, are faster than we are. When they go by, they'll create a little bit of weight. So if you do stand up, keep one eye on what these waves are doing. Over here on your left, that island you see right here, that is North Island. North Island is completely owned by the United States Navy. There are 17 squadrons of helicopters. There are Nighthawks, Seahawks, Ospreys, Super Stallions. There's a couple of Super Cobras over here. There are 2 runways over here. Both of those are large enough to handle a C5 Galaxy. If you don't know what that is, that's an airplane so large it can move 2 F1 A2 Abrams at a time. That's the largest tank we produce. If one of those takes off on this runway and we're out here, you won't need me to tell you, because you're going to feel it out here from that takeoff over there. What I'm going to do right now is turn off my microphone. I will come around. If you want your picture taken on the water, there on the flight line, you're going to see two helicopters. One of them has the rotors pointed forward, looks like an airplane, gray. The one right next to it has them upwards. Those are Osprey. An Osprey takes off like a helicopter. In flight, those rotors point forward and then flies like an airplane. The gray one that you see, that's a Marine Osprey. The white one, that's Navy. To the right of that, there are two more helicopters actually bigger than anything out there. Those are Sea Stallions or Super Stallions. They are built to pick up a tank on a battlefield. They would pick up our 30,000-pound boat and have room to spare. They don't fly them very often. They use more than 200 gallons of fuel for every hour throughout the year. Over here on your right, that hill you see right there, that is Point Loma. Loma is literally Spanish for hill. They didn't put much thought to that name. Now, do you guys see that cross on top of Loma? You guys might have to look through there. That's not a cross, it's a Navy radio antenna. Everything from that antenna east toward the back of our boat, that's all privately owned. Everything from that antenna west toward the front of our boat, that's owned by the United States Navy, with the exception of a small national park called the Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo National Park. You drive right through the Navy base to get there. If you go to that national park, time your visit for low tide. There are tide pools in there. You'll walk around some of the life that gets trapped on the ocean. That is a harbor seal. Aren't they cute?
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yes.
We're not going to see them. We're called a seal tour because we go in the sea and the land. These guys, they are cute, but they're loners. They don't hang out in groups. We only see them once or twice a year. Look, they don't have ears. They have holes in their head. I know a lot of humans like that as well. What we're going to try to find today and what we're going to look for are these guys. That's a California sea lion. See how she's standing on her fins? That's a pennaped. Penna for flipper, head for foot. These guys are very social creatures. They live in what we call a harem society. A male will go out, find a location that he likes. The females will swim by, and if they like that location, they will join him. 6 to 8 females per male is the average. We are going to go to a location called Everingham's Bait Barge. Remember over at Fisherman's Market, I talked about the food from California sea lion. So out in the ocean, they can smell that bait. They swim in here to get a bite of it. It's all kept in nets underneath the water. They can't get to it. So they do the next best thing. They hop up on top of their favorite smell. That's like us going to a barbecue because it smells good. But their barbecue smells like sardines and anchovies. Everybody that just smiled at that right now, remember this moment. When you get a whiff of that, you're going to want something to smile about, and I'll remind you that you did. You're going to see two kinds of sea lambs. There are males and there are females. A male will weigh 800 to 1,400 pounds. They are 8 to half feet long. They're just massive creatures. Every male, even the juveniles, meet in a spot because they have a bump right in the middle of their forehead. That bump is what we call a sagittal crest. Where all the muscles are that control that massive jaw. Guys, we might get lucky. See the rotors turning on the air helicopter right there? That's one of the sea stallions, so we might actually get to see one up in the air tonight. Females are about 200 to 300, 250 to 300 pounds, 6.5 to 7 feet long. They're much smaller than the males. You're going to see two different colors of sea lions. There are dark ones and there are light ones. The only difference is when a sea lion goes underwater, its fur will turn dark. That is camouflage while they are in the water. When they come out of the water, those beaches, that's their natural habitat. So as they dry off, they turn a blonde or a sandy color. It takes them about an hour to an hour and 45 minutes to completely dry out. Sea lions, they love to do 3 things. Sea lions love to eat. They will eat about 10% of their body weight every single day. That means if they weigh 1,400 pounds, they're eating 140 pounds worth of fish every single day. They love to play King of the Hill, pushing each other off of things. That's their national sport. But anytime you eat 100 pounds of anything, I don't care what you're eating, you're going to digest all that food. So they will end up sleeping anywhere from 14 to 18 hours every day, just digesting all that. Sea lions aren't just here for the food. There's actually a second, and what I think is the more important reason why they are here. Out in the ocean, a sea lion has 2 predators. They have the orca whale and a great white shark. Orcas won't come into our bay. It simply isn't deep enough for them. They like deep water. Great whites, they don't care how shallow something is. They will chase their prey to the very edge of the beach. But they won't come into our bay. If you went out to the ocean, got the water up to your shoulders, if you stood absolutely still and you didn't move even a muscle, if there's a great white shark 100 feet away from you, it knows exactly where you are from the sound of your heartbeat. That's all they need. Here in the bay, though, we're making noise. All these other boats are making noise. The Navy, the helicopters, the airplanes. There's a fuel line that runs from Point Loma under the water over here to North Island. It vibrates 24 hours a day. United States. That's Tijuana, Mexico over there. Normally that marine layer sits right on it or right between us. We don't get to see that often.
Mình gần là đến Mexico rồi, có đi được. Ok.
Guys, you're on the water. You can get up. You can move around. It's okay. You guys smell that wonderful smell? Sardines, anchovies, drying sea lion. That's just milk. Look how big he is compared to everything else out here. The color differences I was telling you about, the dark ones and the light ones. Here in front of us, we got a baby nursing right here. Nighthawk helicopter. That is a utility helicopter used by the United States Navy to move men and material around. That is a top secret Navy base. That is the home of Squadron 11. If you look at that shiny roof, there's a submarine right there. There's another one right in front of us into the RDM-5. Those are Los Angeles class nuclear attack submarines. We are the home of Squadron 11. I have 5 of those here. We are the home of the U.S. Navy's Pacific Fleet. Anytime a Nimitz-class carrier leaves our bay for any reason, there will be a Los Angeles there. Remember that fence, because we will talk about that fence later. Guys, you're on the water. You can get up, you can move over, it's okay. Sea lions aren't mean. They're not going to hurt you for no reason. But like any wild animal, you get too close to them, if you get their space or they feel threatened, they will bite you. They have teeth like an Doberman pincer. And if they bite you, because their diet is 100% fish, guaranteed you'll have a very nasty infection. Now, the helicopter you see up here now is very different. That is a Seahawk helicopter. Underneath the pilot and co-pilot, you'll see a flat disc. That allows that helicopter to see up to 200 feet below the water. They can instantly identify any submarine they fly over or any plane. They're saying, don't mess with me, I'm large. every one of those pins has a dolphin, 1 to 4 of them in those pins. This is one of
Dưới
them
kia
you're
còn con
watching.
cà héo á, cà héo đi theo cái thau đó.
Cá heo.
Watch just behind the boat.
Có cái sao cơ?
They're
Cá heo.
teaching or
Cái
they're
sao cái tàu
training
này.
what's called weight training. They're teaching the dolphin to stay behind the boat.
Cá
You
heo.
don't pump up
Heo.
our breath every
Thấy
so
không?
often.
Có cá heo.
It's also good exercise.
Theo cái tàu á. Thấy không?
Lâu lâu nó chạy lên.
Thấy hả? Thấy. Em thấy cứ bụt bụt nước em mới đâu thấy cá heo. Đâu thấy đâu.
So she's gonna give it a reward. Follow it.
Nè nó lòi đây nè.
Vậy đó.
Đó thấy cái đầu à hả? Cái đầu á. Đó đó nè 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 đó. Cá heo. Nè nè cái đầu nó đó ông kia đang ông cho
Watch this. Get your cameras ready.
coi thấy ra đến đây đi anh coi. Cho đứng lên coi. Đó. Coi được không anh? Nó nhảy.
Chạy lên gà.
Đó. Nó cho ăn thì nó bay coi coi nó làm lại đó. Đó, 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, that's a true now.
nó cho ăn nó mới nhảy lên.
Guys, they did that just for you. On the count of 3, would you do me a favor and yell thank you? 1, 2, 3. Thank you!
Nó thấy không?
The Navy doesn't have to share their animals with us, but they're kind enough to do it now and then.
Cá heo mà. Cá voi chứ là cá heo. Đó, cá heo đâu.
So look over here at the Dolphin Training Center. You see the screened-in building on the right? That is the Navy Sea Lion Training Center. So why do we train sea lions? What do we do with them anyway? Sea lions have 2 abilities humans don't. They have a second eyelid. They can see underwater as clearly as we see above it. These guys can dive 800 feet, hold their breath for 20 minutes at a time, and then come straight back up. They have the intelligence of about a 4-year-old child. That means we can teach them to use some tools. So we teach them to fight down. They'll go down underwater and they'll find an object. That's a dummy torpedo. They'll take these claws, they're spring-loaded, they'll jam them onto an object. They'll give it a tug to make sure it's on tight. They come back up and our guys can scoop up whatever they
Quay được
find.
chút khúc hồi nãy.
It's estimated to save the Navy anywhere from $5 to $25 million
Cái khúc
a
hồi
year
nãy á.
just recovering items off the ocean floor.
Giỏi.
Over here, that's the Navy Refueling Center. Each one of those bendy straws can move about 5,000 gallons of fuel an hour. Did you know 1 milliliter, that's an eyedropper of fuel, will contaminate 100 gallons worth of seawater? When you're moving 5,000 gallons an hour, even a very small spill becomes huge very quickly. So when these ships come in, we pull that boom line out, we push the ship against the dock. We surround it with that boom line. That way, if there is a spill, we have that contained. We can take care of that before
Tàu nhỏ kéo tàu lớn kia.
Tàu nhỏ kéo tàu được.
Over here under the gangway, that's another dolphin training center. Every pin you see all the way across, all the way back, show you the most amazing ship you will ever see. That is the Sea Hunter. She was commissioned here in San Diego. She went from here to Hawaii. Hawaii to Guam where she was killed. And then she came home. And there wasn't a human being on board because that is an AI ship. That is artificially intelligent. In the early 2000s, when they were first testing her out, they sent her out of our bay and she only had one order. Have every ship out there call in to identify themselves. One submarine refused to answer her hail. On her own, with no human command or interaction, she called in the Coast Guard, stuck them in that submarine, helped them force it up, found $150 million worth of cocaine on board. In the next 5 years, current plan is to have every ship in the Navy be conned or steered by artificial intelligence. They're not going to hit that goal, but it's a good goal. In the next 25 years, the destroyers we're designing on paper right now aren't being designed for human beings to be on board. They will be 100% AI. And that all started right here. So when you think about it, that ship, that's Terminator 1.0 right there. That means on my tour today, you guys got to see the start of the zombie apocalypse and the start of Terminator. On your left and in front of us, that's our third Navy Dolphin Training Center. Now, if you see humans, we're going to watch where they are, but I don't expect to see them. We're going to look into the pins, watch the spouting. When they breathe in, they have to breathe out. Watch between the water and the dock. Guys, you're going to want to stand up. It's going to be your best bet to see them. Watch where the humans are, they'll beg for food.
Thấy không vậy ai cũng
Yeah, right there. You see them in between? Look between the water and the dock.
con cá hồi nãy mình coi chỗ đó thấy đâu, không thấy gì đâu.
See where it's spouted right there? There's one right here. Look between the water and the dock. You'll see it right there. Right here in front of us by that white. Way in the back over there, we saw one moving.
Thấy lớn ở bên kia rồi.
Bên kia rồi. Trông trên đã
One right here in front. What do we do with them anyway? Dolphins have an ability humans don't. It's called echolocation. Underwater, they make a clicking sound. That sound goes out and bounces off objects. When it comes back in their brain, that creates a really clear picture. So anytime these large vessels, like the destroyers or the aircraft carriers, come in from being deployed, we send a dolphin underneath it. That dolphin's looking for listening devices or explosives. If it sees either one, it will mark the bottom of a ship. American waters and they see a diver, they have a tool, like I showed you for the sea lions. They will go grab that tool, bring it back. That tool will wrap around the diver's arm or their leg. A balloon will go up and a security boat will pick that diver up. They will have the very worst day of their lives. Ever since the bombing of the USS Cole in Yemen, anytime an American warship docks in a foreign port, there will be a U.S. Navy dolphin there to guard them. Outside of our waters, they are trained to ram those divers at speeds in excess of 30 miles an hour. The idea is to break some bones. Make that diver want to be anywhere but near our ships. I'm kind of looking at that nest right there. That's the osprey nest, and none of the ospreys are there right now. So it's kind of fun for me up here. Because up here, I get to watch all of you. And every time I start pointing at all of those different dolphin training centers, and I say we're keeping dolphins in pens, I get fur brown or a brown. Happens every single time. It doesn't matter if I have 4 people or 40, it's gonna happen. So let me tell you guys, not one of these animals is here against their will. You saw it yourself. There was no leash on that dolphin. That thing was gonna keep him here if he wanted to leave. Do you have any idea why they stay with us and they can leave? Military benefits, free food, free housing, free health care. They got it made. They don't have to leave. They want to be right here. And no, it's not shock collars. Part of working with these animals means we take on a responsibility of care. We were actually talking out. We were surprised that we saw that dolphin. They usually are done training by 11 or 11:30. A dolphin's skin is so sensitive to sunlight that even 10 minutes will give them a really severe sunburn. We teach them how to jump inside of a tent. We can close that up around them. That way, if we're going to take them very far out, we can shield them from the sun and we can close them down. Out in the ocean, a male dolphin will live to be about 20. A female lives to be about 23. We actually have no idea how old any of those dolphins are over at the training center. Because the know who that is on the toothbrush?
Who's that?
Do you know who that is? That is SpongeBob SquarePants. That is the favorite toothbrush of the dolphins. Their second favorite is the pink and purple Ariel. Do you guys know what a dolphin's favorite toothpaste is? Aqua Fresh. Guys, that's my best joke. If you don't like that, we're really in trouble. Have a look. Pass it back. Some things that most people don't know about dolphins. Did you know that when a female is pregnant, she'll make up a song for her child while in utero? Every dolphin has its own song. When dolphins are born, they're given a name, just like we have names. And every dolphin in their pod of up to 5,000 will learn that child's name. If the baby goes too far away and mom can't find it, the whole pod swim out to look for that one child. Because they recognize each other, just like we recognize each other. When they find that child, they will guide her home to mom, and just like a human parent, she will chew that child out for going too far away without permission. I'm going to turn off my microphone. If you have any questions, I'll come around. I'll be happy to answer. Have any questions? Orca? Not here. Out there. Way out. You guys have any questions? That's our front two wheels touching down. There'll be 1 second delay, you'll feel the back wheels, then you're going to feel it backwards learn. We're going to go back. That's us converting from a boat back to a bus. Just know we're not doing it. Just like that. We are a bus again. Thank you, Captain. That was well. Thank you, Captain. That was well done. As I'm not getting out pushing. No. Sit down. Sit down, guys. Sit down. As we go around, we're gonna go over there to that parking lot. We're gonna stop. I'm gonna hop out. I'm gonna go look for any kind of kelp, seaweed, mermaids, anything we think that we should not have. I told you guys though, I fell in love with Key West. And if I ever retire for my third retirement, that's where I'm gonna retire. But for you, that means you're not getting off my bus without a little Jimmy Buffett somewhere. So this is where we do that.
Phải xuống xe kiểm tra. Để đi tàu đầu tiên là rất là em kiểm tra đừng có kéo cái gì em đi về hết đó những cái đồ lá đồ nó bán
Đồ biển á, nhưng bằng bão
tàu
á.
á. Thì như bà phải ngồi bà ra ngoài bà kiểm tra xong rồi coi đi về. Nhưng mà mấy cái tiền mà vô đây hả, cái kim đi hả, không phải để sẽ không biết kéo đi được nha. Có cái nào giống như thế được. Không có. Việc con bán cái kia đi, bạn dùng thôi, không có bán. Vô biển mà ai biết đem cái gì lên đâu. Việc kéo mấy cái đồ